Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about gray hair. Ugh, nobody likes to think about that. What does gray hair usually indicate? Aging, and it's absolutely not the thing that we want to think about, especially early in the week on a Monday morning. Hi, I'm Dr. Joe with 2 Minutes to Better Health. Well, yes, it is part of aging, but there is a lot more to why gray hair can occur in a premature way. So let's find out a little bit more about this. Causes. There's a lot of theories out here, but there's a lot of science behind it as well. Well, they say genetics has a lot to do with it. You can look at family history and do they have gray hair early on in life or later on in life? Age, as I said, a huge part of that, but not the biggest part. Smoking. All right, smoking definitely has a negative effect. Well, smoking is an elective thing, so if that definitely affects gray hair, then it means our environment can have a lot more to do with this than we might think. Stress. Now stress, I'm going to prove that here with a couple quick photos just to show you how much stress can have an impact on someone in just a short period of time. All right, so not looking at your politics here exactly, but this is at the beginning of a presidential term. This is 8 years into a presidential term. Not a lot of gray, tons of gray. You could say, well, maybe it's a little bit light colored there to begin with, but serious gray after only 8 years, okay? Now how about this? Very dark black hair and not so dark black hair after 8 years here. So that shows these people have undergone more stress than almost anybody on the planet Earth. So if stress has a lot to do with it, what can we do to reduce it? Well, obviously we want to try to reduce stress wherever possible. All right, but let's talk about some things that are more avoidable than anything else. Nutrition has a ton to do with gray hair, premature graying of the hair. They show that copper, iron, zinc, minerals, very important, and a lot of the B vitamins, B6, B12, and biotin, which actually happens to be part of the B complex, are super important to help reduce the premature graying of hair. Inflammation in the body of any sorts. Inflammation's bad, but things like sugar, excess alcohol, and toxins are not good as well because they're going to cause the body to be inflamed. It's not going to absorb nutrients as well, and a lot of bad stuff happens. So natural remedies, that's what we're here about, trying to figure out ways to deal with it. First of all, out with the bad. We don't want to be putting bad stuff in the body. If you've ever talked to my wife and I for more than 10 minutes, we love detoxification, cleansing. Okay, we're big parts of that. We're doing a huge one in January, so if you want to be part of that, give us a call or contact us in some way. But basically, when you pull out the bad stuff, then it allows the good stuff, those nutrients, those minerals, those vitamins, to absorb into the body better, can slow down that process. Limit alcohol and over-the-counter medications. Now, obviously, I can't say anything about prescription medications, but if you get healthier and all of a sudden your body doesn't need those as much, work with your doctor. But any of those that has a toxic residue in the body is going to cause that premature graying to be advanced. Reducing sugar and processed foods. Obviously, it's a given for health in general. Avoiding chemical cleaners, chemical scented products. Remember, if you smell it and it's a chemical, it's bad for you and it's absorbing in your body. And cosmetics and body care, a lot of those are very toxic and they plug up the body so it can't absorb those nutrients as well. And then intermittent fasting. We talked about autophagy in one of my earlier videos. Autophagy is when the body goes after the bad stuff in and it tries to break that down and recycle it. So if your body gets into intermittent fasting periodically, okay, it's a great health practice. It's great for dieting and a lot of people that are trying to lose weight, but it's phenomenal for helping to scavenge up that bad stuff and may even reduce the speed at which gray hairs occur. Because one piece of bad news, you can't necessarily reverse the gray hairs that are there so much, but you can slow the process down. Now in with the good. All right, so the most important thing I believe is a simple multivitamin, a whole food multivitamin or mineral, including B12 and copper. Those are the two primary vitamins and minerals that I think our bodies need from all the research I've done. B6, biotin, zinc, and iron are also very important. And then of the top foods, okay, I said earlier I wanted to give you the top food that would be helpful for this. Walnuts, okay, by far the number one food that people are saying that will help reduce the premature graying of hair. So definitely consider putting some walnuts in your body. Going to the third thing, green veggies. If you have a salad each day, chop up some walnuts, throw that in there, and you get two of the top three. You may not like the third one, liver. It is phenomenal, has tons of nutrients, but a lot of people aren't going to eat that, so there are actually nutrients that have liver-containing compounds in it. You can consume those instead and not have that nasty taste. All right, so eat your walnuts, green veggies, maybe some liver. Try to avoid these things that we talked about, and hopefully this will help you slow the spread of the gray hair. Instead of just tweaking them and pulling them out and dyeing them, try to find ways to slow that process down. Again, I'm Dr. Joe with 2 Minutes to Better Health. Thanks for watching today. See you soon.